Good evening. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. His Majesty asserts Bahrain's support to UN peacekeeping efforts. Trade unions' important role in developing oil and gas sector highlighted. BDF opens registration for civilians to volunteer in reserve force. Gulf economy is predicted to grow faster in 2022. Turkey's Istanbul airport to remain closed due to heavy snow. News in detail. His Majesty asserts Bahrain's support to UN peacekeeping efforts. His Majesty King Hamad has confirmed Bahrain's support to the United Nations' pivotal role of fostering peace, security and stability worldwide. His Majesty made the remarks yesterday as he received at Safariya Palace President of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly and Maldivian Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister chairs weekly cabinet meeting. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, today chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Gudaibiya Palace. To mark the International Day of Education, the cabinet commended the kingdom's educational professionals, thanking them for their efforts to best continue the education process in exceptional circumstances throughout the COVID-19 global pandemic. The cabinet encouraged the education sector workforce to continue supporting government programs that will further develop the national education sector and contribute towards the kingdom's comprehensive development, led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. The cabinet activated a unified system for the internal auditing of government agencies. Digital literacy is one of Bahrain's primary sustainable development goals. Bahrain is in the process of working on digital literacy, which has become one of Bahrain's primary sustainable development goals. Education Minister Dr. Majid bin Ali Al Nuaimi has announced the construction plan that includes the establishment of 18 new schools and 24 academic buildings in various governorates to raise the capacity of schools at various educational levels. His Highness Sheikh Nasser stresses trade unions' important role in developing oil and gas sector. Representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and Board of Directors Chairman of the Oil and Gas Holding Company, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa has affirmed that everyone is keen to achieve His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's visions and aspirations in the oil and gas sector, which boasts a long history in the kingdom. While receiving here today the workers' trade unions of the subsidiary companies of the National Oil and Gas Holding Company, His Highness Sheikh Nasser highlighted the importance of the role of trade unions in supporting workers' rights, protecting them and advancing their professional development, as well as spreading trade union awareness and promoting social dialogue. As always directed by His Majesty the King, noting that the company is keen to support heads of associations in settling all labor aspects. BDF opens registration for civilians to volunteer in reserve force. Bahrain Defense Force has announced that it has started the third batch registration volunteering for civilians to join the reserve force for relatives of workers and retirees in BDF and the General Guard. Applicants must be Bahraini nationals aged between 18 and 55, have good contact and have not been convicted for a felony or a misdemeanor that breaches honor or trust, and medically fit for military service in the reserve force and successfully pass the medical examination prescribed according to the BDF military medical committees. The age limit does not apply to technicians and specialists. Applicants should fill in the form available on the website the BDF added. Foreign Ministry's Legislation Office opened at BCCI. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs yesterday opened its Legislation Office and Consular Affairs at the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry to ensure that all possible facilities with regards to consular services are being provided to businessmen, investors, citizens and residents. Database to preserve trees of Bahrain. Trees in Bahrain could be microchipped and categorized as part of national database to elevate the kingdom's natural and agricultural environment and resources. A proposal unanimously approved by the Northern Municipal Council yesterday also aims to identify and preserve perennial trees that live for several years. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. Cybersecurity jobs are the top list of fastest growing jobs in Saudi. Cybersecurity specialists, talent acquisition experts, and back-end developers are among the fastest growing jobs in Saudi Arabia, according to new data from global professional networking firm LinkedIn. The pandemic, digitalization, and a slew of new government policies in the region have all impacted the list published by the company this year, which reveals that a staggering 9 in 10 MENA professionals feel confident in their current role. This increased confidence is in turn driving a desire among the workforce to change jobs, with 72% of professionals in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia considering a switch this year. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. To have a wonderful shopping experience, please visit your nearest Megamart Macromart branch. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. Gulf economy is predicted to grow faster in 2022. The economies in the 6-member Gulf Cooperation Council is predicted to grow at their fastest paces in several years. Crude oil prices, a major driver for Gulf economies, climbed to their highest since 2014 on Wednesday, published by escalating global political tensions involving major producers, which could worsen already tight supplies. Saudi Arabia was predicted to top the list with a growth of 5.7%, followed by Kuwait and the UAE with 5.3% and 4.8% respectively. Gulf region's largest fish market inaugurated in Saudi. Emir of the Eastern Province, Prince Saud bin Naif, inaugurated the Fish Island, the largest fish island in the Gulf region, in Qatif on Sunday. The Fish Island project was implemented considering sites for business establishments in order to encourage commercial movement and prosperity in the region, as well as to provide job opportunities for the people of the region. The most prominent facilities of this market are the main building, which covers an area of 6,000 square meters and includes retail stores, a side yard for wholesalers, investment sites, an ice factory, storage and cooling areas, and facilities that serve the commercial movement of fish sales. Motorists are being advised of road closures in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday for the Golden Jubilee Cycling Tour. Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Road, Sheikh Maktoum bin Rashid Road, and Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Road will be closed on Tuesday between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. for the Golden Jubilee Cycling Tour. The Integrated Transport Center shared a map of the closures and alternative routes on its social media channels. The tour is taking place to celebrate the UAE's Golden Jubilee. It starts at the Ministry of Interior offices in Abu Dhabi and ends 111 kilometers away at the fishing line at Expo 2020 Dubai. Turkey's Istanbul airport to remain closed due to heavy snow. The suspension of flight operations at Turkey's Istanbul airport was extended on Tuesday due to heavy snowfall, while winter weather stalled transport across the city, home to about 16 million people. The suspension of flight operations have been extended until January 25 due to adverse weather conditions, the Istanbul airport said on its website, Reuters reported. Turkish authorities declared administrative leave for all public institution personnel on Tuesday to decrease mobility. Istanbul governor said on Twitter that private vehicles will not be allowed on the roads until emergency teams clean the roads. WHO chief warns against talk of endgame in pandemic. The head of the World Health Organization is warning that conditions remain ideal for more coronavirus variants to emerge and says it is dangerous to assume Omicron is the last one or that we are in the end game, while saying the acute phase of the pandemic could still end this year if some key targets are met. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.